Yeah, soda pop. I went to the botanical gardens again. That was fucking amazing. So, how did I get there? I got a bus, which took about 30, 40 minutes. Winding, winding, winding. I arrived at the stop that I needed to get off, and I went into this mall, got a little coffee, got some lunch. I had also spotted an ice cream place. And so, on my way out, I got myself a mandarina ice cream, which is like basically tangerine flavor. And it was fucking delicious. I stepped out into the sun, eating my ice cream, and walked down the street to the botanical gardens, which is free, by the way. Went in there. Instantly, I see different flies gathering pollen around the entrance part, which is possibly the least impressive part, but it's still impressive. I make an effort to just enjoy that first part as well, because I know that the best is yet to come. Oh, I went up and got another coffee. I think my coffee habit's increasing, but I just have wee ones. I was like, I could get my paints and stuff out here, but I remember seeing people up on the grass in like different parts of the park, people sitting in slightly longer grass with kind of picnic style or reading a book or just sleeping. I went up with the intention of sitting on the grass, and then I was like, I'd spotted these two big benches, and I was like, these would be perfect because it means I can kind of lay things out a little bit. And as I got to the benches, this family of, let's say, like 6 or 7 people also decided to sit on the benches, and I was like, cool, there's like totally enough space for everyone. So I just took up like the furthest corner, and then it was like two mums who I think were cousins and a bunch of kids, and they were sat there having their lunch. Picture this scene, like all I can hear around the park is literally like either like children laughing or teenagers laughing and playing Uno. Families, just everyone there is just having the fucking best time in nature. Was on the bench, got my paints out. I bought three new colors of paint recently, and I wanted to use them. And in my head, I was like, yeah, I want to do the cross section between like a neon pink and like maybe like a sky blue, matte sky blue, hoping for a purple. And so I got to it, and they were all eating their lunch, and I was just in the zone, like painting away. And I finish all the pink marks that I want to make, and then I lay my book on the side of the bench to dry, because I need it to dry, or I wanted it to dry before I started with the blue. Meanwhile, one of the kids is like intently staring at me and the painting, and just like not saying a word, but just like insanely curious. And then another one comes over and is like, if I'm on the bench here, she's just behind me, insanely curious. And I'm literally just waiting for the paint to dry. So I'm sort of like not even pensive, but I've like washed out my brush and I'm ready to use the blue paint, but not all of it's completely dry. So I'm just waiting. And the parents are kind of like, don't annoy the guy sort of thing. Like eventually they're just like, don't annoy the guy. Because one of the other girls comes over and she's like, oh, what are you doing? Like, I want to paint. And I'm like, what? I'm like, espera, like, just wait a minute, like, wait a second, and we'll figure this out. They were about to go, and I was like, I'm gonna give them part of my sketchbook, and they can use a big brush, and the most keen girls can have a go at painting, and so they wanted to use the same colors as me as well, which was great. And so yeah, they did a little collaborative piece on this fucking delicious Fabriano paper. Um, and I tried to teach them a little bit of color theory. I say that, I was just basically saying, and so what color does pink and blue make together? It was just fucking lovely. It was just so lovely. And I think what's interesting is because I'm teaching English now, like almost every morning, that sort of teacher's instinct in me is really there. But I think at the same time, I'm always going to try and promote creativity. Like that's just who I am. It's helped me so much. And I love to, because little kids are the best. They haven't been sort of hardened to the world so much. And so, when they see someone painting or doing this, and um, they're instantly like, oh yeah, I want to do that. Like, yeah, like there's no inhibition whatsoever, and it's wonderful to witness and to facilitate and encourage, because it's like I genuinely think that would have been a core memory of theirs, that experience there. There was like older brothers and cousins around, and one of them was like, oh, where are you from? Like, oh, Scotland. I told them I'm from Scotland. There was a jumping spider that climbed on my leg, and I moved it onto my hand and then put it onto the bench so that they could all look at it, and they loved that. And yeah, who knew that that's really what I needed, was to just be in a park, share my creativity, and be pestered by kids, which I wasn't pestered at all. I was very happy to share. Like, I was trying to protect my painting as well because it was still drying. So I'll show you that. I really like it. I really like it. Ooh. So that's what happened. And then, this isn't the end of the tale. So then I got the bus. The bus says that it's a circular route. Now, my Swiss friend who was here in Medellin with me, and like semi recently, she was doing embroidery, and she's back in Switzerland now, and I was doing painting. This was like a wonderful afternoon we had, and we went to the botanical gardens together as well. And she told me that the first time she went to botanical gardens, it took her 2 hours to get back. So I knew there was a risk of it being a really super windy fucking road, but at the same time, it felt a bit like a tour. It went all the way through the center. It went through parts of this barrio called Belén, which is a massive barrio. Parts of it that I hadn't seen, so I was like taking notes of like new cafes that maybe I want to go down and have a look. I've explored some of it on foot, and there's areas that you don't want to go into apparently, or supposedly, but there was a lot. I was so surprised because we were in the depths of it, and there's some of these areas just look really nice. A lot of like outdoor life, like people outside. Um, let's say it's the equivalent of like a baker's or something like that. People outside maybe drinking a beer or having a coffee and a little empanada or something like that. Like, there's a nice vibe to the place. It feels definitely way more residential and local than Laureli's, where I am, is. So it was actually really good in the tour, like in the aspect of it being a tour, and I was able to see, and I haven't been into the center yet. The thing is, I will say, is I saw a lot of drug use and a lot of extreme homelessness. Like, some areas where it's just taken, like green spaces are taken over entirely by homeless people. And of course I feel terrible about that, and the conditions that they're living in, or the plight of being an addict. How do I say this? I've read a lot about addiction and through Gabor Mate, and so I understand. I see them as humans, but I also still protect my energy. Like, I have to consider my own safety. So there's that sort of point of tension often, I find. But yeah, that's probably one of the reasons I haven't been into the center, and I saw that on the bus today, is just the sheer deprivation, and it reminded me of scenes that I've seen in LA, for example, like Skid Row or whatever, and it reminds me that I'm in America. I'm in the South American continent, and Colombia is heavily influenced by the US, and it's also just geographically, it's in a place where, obviously, like, lots of difficult things have happened to Venezuela, and people have fled their country into Colombia to seek a way of living and maybe find themselves in the streets. So I can't skip over that, even though I'm getting slightly more desensitized to it. I can't skip over what I saw. And it's not even it's not in any way to say that Medellin is that, exclusively that, but it's not something that you can pretend doesn't exist. It's a significant factor. And statistically, a third of Colombians live below the poverty line. So, there you go. Anyway, so we're meandering around. I'm going up these hills. I'm seeing quite a lot of like really nice colonial buildings, like beautiful architecture and everything. We keep going up this hill, clunky. I'm trying to hold on to my new plant that I bought, which is like bumping about, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And then, so we keep going, and we go past this station called Exposiciones, and that's kind of quite in the center. But I remember my taxi driver from the airport a month ago, we drove through that part, and I was like, oh, maybe I could get off here and figure out my way back. But all this time I just had faith that it was an extremely long bus journey to get back. So all this time I'm going to the extreme ends of like Medellin, and we fucking rock up to like the industrial bus terminal, and everyone gets off, and I know, well, anyone who's taken buses, especially in their teenage years or whatever, will know that, you know, if you've slept on a bus through past your stop, or, you know, there's been a few times where I've ended up at a fucking terminal, or at the end of the line, and the bus is like, oh yeah, get out and fucking seat in the middle of the night or whatever. That's in Aberdeen. So I'm there, but, you know, I speak Spanish, so I just go up to let's say the entrance window of the like the little kind of porter cabin of the bus place, swerve past a few drivers that have just finished their shift, and just like directly look at the guy that's sitting at the desk, and I'm like, you know, I'm looking to get to this place, can you tell me how to get there? And he's like, yeah, no problem, I think there's a bus leaving now. And he just ushers me onto this bus, which is the 301, and I get on that. So I've had to pay 3 bus fares instead of 2, but it doesn't bother me. It was really, eventually, it doesn't bother me. And then it took another 30-40 minutes to get to where I needed to go on that bus. So in total, my return trip was easily over the 2-hour mark. I'm not mad at it. I need to know for next time not to take that bus. I must remember for next time. So then I make it back. I fucking get in. I fucking dance around the room and have a shower and put my plant on my desk, my new plant. Fuck yeah. And it's round about 7:00, and I've got a class at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so I'll just edit this video, upload it, and there we go. I don't know I'm trying to think what to title this, but yeah, I'll figure that out later. Thanks for tuning in. Goodbye. Tuning in. Are we tuning in? Thanks for watching. Goodbye.